Hello, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. Welcome to Jokes Explained Live, part 2 of Roseanne Barr, her comedy special on Fox Nation, which we tried to finish last week, but there was just so many jokes. I wasn't able to get to all of it. So thank you all for coming here and hanging out and dissecting this last half of this monumental comedy special, produced, of course, on Fox Nation, which is the nation which is celebrating Thanksgiving this weekend. So happy Thanksgiving to all of us here who live in the Fox Nation and give thanks for oil and gas subsidies and great comedians. All right, so you can see here where we've left off. If I can give a little roundup of hello, hey, everyone in the chat. I've got the chat popped out here. I'll be watching. I've got Brian is going to be moderating the chat today as well, and mixing it up and hopefully expanding on the humor and trying to make sure that all the jokes of this stream are understood by everyone. We'll see how the stream goes. We'll see how the setup goes. The audio visual setup. It seems to be okay. I've got the sun right through the window on my forehead today, so feeling well lit. My pupils are as small as possible. Okay, so last week we went through the first half of Roseanne's special, which was a lot of setup, she's got kind of a ranty, loud style of comedy. Again, I wish I could play her for you guys, but I would be copyright striked, and plus, it's actually illegal to play Roseanne in an apartment building at certain times of the day. It's just a little loud. So I'm just going to keep going through this script here. As you can see where we left off, it was just before one of her big rants. Hilarious rants. You can see we just finished off with a huge pop where she said, "My pronouns are kiss my ass." Great joke, because obviously, that can't be a pronoun. Kiss my ass is more of a term of endearment than a pronoun. So, but you can see that the audience cheers. Oh, look at this! I can make a nice thick underline here. This is, see if this works. Yeah, huge laugh there. Huge laugh for my pronouns are kiss my ass. That's kind of a street joke. I don't think just Roseanne says that. I think that's kind of like a common saying here in the United States. My pronouns are kiss my ass is just kind of like a joke that a significant portion of the population likes to say. So that's a great little acknowledgement there. Very funny. Yes. I will be sucking on hard candy. Claudia Rocks here asks for an explanation of that. A lot of comedians use props in their act. Sometimes, they'll the common props, obviously the stool is great for humping. Roseanne, in one of her stand-up specials at the America Fest, she used a laptop and a hard candy. So she had two props on stage. The hard candy is great because it's almost like bumping the mic. You can clack the hard candy against your teeth when there's a funny joke, and that again kind of lets the audience know something funny's happened. I don't know if you guys have seen in the old days of comedy, there'd be like a guy with a drum set and they'd play the little ba-dum-tss after a joke. That's the old way of doing it. Nowadays, you can bump the mic on your knee, or you can clack hard candy on your teeth. Or sometimes Jim Brewer will just jump up and sort of body slam the floor when he does an act out of how vaccines will kill you. So there's all sorts of different ways of adding a little exclamation point to a joke. Yeah, the laptop was like a notes card sort of thing, I think. Maybe that was kind of the joke, is like, a lot of comedians, sometimes if they don't have their stuff memorized, they'll have it on a little notebook, and Roseanne brought out a whole computer, which is very funny. Maybe one day she'll bring out like a full gaming PC with 3 monitors and just set it up there on the stage so she can get to all of her jokes. All right, let's get to Roseanne. Thank you all for joining me. I think that the stragglers are in here now. So settle down, get some water. You guys are going to be laughing a lot. So let's continue. Here we are, page 25 of the Roseanne special here. So she says, "My pronouns are kiss my ass." Audience goes nuts. And then she says, "And I just want to say to all those girls that are so damn upset about them overturning the Roe v. Wade thing, don't get so damn upset about it. You are never going to get pregnant. You've got the vax. You're never going to have a baby. Chill out." Yeah, so that's again, funny little vaccine joke there. It's funny because I think people with the vaccine do have children still. Of course, the children are they're highly damaged. They have a lot of different limbs and fingers and stuff, but they are still able to have children. So, I mean, that's kind of an exaggeration joke there. Yeah, I do have a message for today's women. I'm trying to get a Kleenex out of this pocket. There it is. I do. Okay, so she does have a prop here. She does seem to have a Kleenex. I think she's probably doing so well on stage that she's probably got a nosebleed at this point, so she's got to give it a little dab there. That does happen sometimes. If you've seen a comedian do really, really well, sometimes it is so effective that you can actually have an aneurysm, so you got to be careful. I do have a message for today's women. I think it's important. Women, keep your penis in your pants. There's no excuse for this kind of behavior. In this day and age, take some responsibility for your own actions, women. These Me Too whores, they are on my last nerve. You know what I mean? If you were going to go to a Disney producer's room at 3 a.m., are you kidding me? Then you're not going to turn around and cry about it and try to get some money out of it. Okay, let's stop there for a second here. So there's been a lot said in this last little bit here. So it is common knowledge in show business that the people who run Disney basically will sexually assault every single person. It's just the culture. It's just the way it is. I wish there was something we could do about it. But, in show business, and Roseanne's been in show biz for, like I said, 70 plus years. She knows, it's common knowledge that producers are there basically to rape. And again, there's unfortunately seems like there's nothing that can be done about this. So Roseanne is just saying that I guess if you go there, that was going to happen. And, a lot of the Me Too movement was about trying to prevent that from happening. But Roseanne is obviously making the joke that, it is impossible to stop. So I don't know if it's funny or this might just be like a social commentary that she's trying to say here, which is don't even try to stop sexual assault. Again, she might be leading to something here. We'll see where she goes with this. The world has changed a lot since I was alive. I'm telling you. It's changed so much. When I was young, we gals used to go to parties hoping to get drunk, so we'd wake up pulling a train of 5 guys just for fun, and nobody thought anything about it. It was no big deal. You know what I mean? Remember when you were young and you got molested? It is your fault. Remember that? Remember my mom's like, didn't I tell you not to go around old Joe when he comes around the corner on his bike? I told you to stay away from him, what he does to young girls, and there you are running up there to the corner knowing what he's going to do to you, and then you complain about it. He buys us ice cream. Okay, so I think this might be like a strange okay, this is just so this is, I'm trying to think of how this is funny, because she's trying to paint a funny scene here, but molestation isn't really that funny. I guess maybe it was funny in the 70s, and so she's trying to make it funny now. And she might be, she might be able to do it, I guess. But it's not as funny now unless it's the stool. The only person that generally is funny to molest now is the stool on the stage. But in the 70s and 80s, it was funny to molest fellow human beings. So, yeah, you had to be there, comedy. Planet Janet, thank you. You guys are really helping me out here. I'm so glad to have a live chat because, stuff like this can really be difficult for me to discern. Tragedy plus time. Yeah, sometimes, you know what? That's maybe what it is. So a molestation event is not funny when it happens, but give it 50, 60 years, then it's funny, especially if his name is Joe. That's a funny name. Thank you, guys. This is good stuff. This is funny. We didn't do yoga stretches. Oh, here we go. Change of tone here. You know what I mean? We didn't drink caramel pumpkin latte macchiato, white women caramel drinks. White women, I've talked about this before, a very funny group of people to make fun of. They're just so annoying. Anytime they're mentioned in a stand-up act, that's a funny joke. We didn't do that. We drank Tab and Fresca and shit that had saccharin in it. They gave us liver cancer, and we were happy to have it because we were tough. Unlike you people, you young people, privileged, just privileged. That's what I realized in quarantine. Privilege really kills. Privilege is what ruins lives. When you start thinking, the world needs to be pretty for you, well, it don't, right? Just because you got a degree in gender studies. Now, that's a funny joke there. Gender studies is very funny. There's a lot of places in America where if you just say gender studies on stage, especially if you combine it with white women, this is a self-contained setup and punchline here. So if any of you guys do comedy, I mean, that's a great move. But also, it's just funny. It is funny when you think about it. Two very funny things. That don't mean shit. You're not going to get a job no place. You can't even get a job at Whole Ho Ho Donuts. Didn't I tell you that? I told you. Privilege kills and bliss is ignorant. So he's saying that the younger generation is entirely... Hey, Brian's here. Yeah, that's Brian is he's on the road right now, but he's doing his best to moderate. So let's just talk about a little bit what Roseanne's talking about here. So she's saying that the younger generation is very privileged. I don't know if there's any younger people in the chat. I know that most people watch the channel are over 60, 70 years old, but if there's any younger people in the chat, do you guys feel privileged? Does it feel like you guys have been spoiled? I would I would say I feel spoiled. Definitely. I'm younger, and I definitely feel spoiled because in the old days, they didn't have as much microplastic in the water, and microplastic, I feel like, has made me less depressed. It's made me more energetic. Plus, we've got things like YouTube. YouTube is great. In the old days, you could just have you would have to do one. You only do one job your whole life, and I have 7 jobs, and I get to do YouTube stuff. So that it's a much more interesting of an existence, and I don't have the burden of home ownership. I get to just I get to pay rent to somebody who's Roseanne's age, who is full of lead and saccharin. So yeah, what I would say, she's probably, I know it's a bit of a sweeping generalization, but comedy's not about details. It's funny to just get the little bit of the old people in the crowd. They're going to be fired up about this, so it's funny. I bet they were probably laughing a lot in the room. I haven't seen an audience laughs break in the script yet, but I think it's coming. Privilege kills and bliss is ignorance. I turn those around. Bliss is ignorance, right? I have 3 different litters of children. Oh, I say that. I had 3 different litters with 3 different men because I'm a whore. You know what I mean, ladies. And parenting has changed so much too since, back in my day. It's changed so much. Who else has teenagers in their 50s? Yeah, I have 3 daughters. That's a funny joke there because that's a numbers joke. You can't be a teen and also be in your 50s. So that's a good one. I have 3 daughters. I told you they're very liberal. Ugh. But they're in their late 40s and 50. 3 daughters in menopause. That's when you know you're old, for God's sake. That's when you know you're old, right? I can't believe how fast it went too. Oh my God. They tell me, the things they come up with now. They're like, Mom, the doctor, they want us to take testosterone for our symptoms. They're trying to give everybody crazy ass hormones from the time they're 2 all the way up. Giving women testosterone to treat their premenopause is insane. I'm like, great. Now, you'll be lifting weights and watching football. Yeah, that's true. I wouldn't take it if I was you. That's just asking for trouble, because your IQ is going to decrease by half. Hey, that's a men are stupid joke. So that's sort of a callback to Tim Allen era humor. I don't know if you guys saw the Tim Allen video, but men are dumb is a classic Tim Allen joke. And is a joke that was going on for a long time back then. So that's very funny. 10 sandwiches in a trench coat. Hey, how you doing? If there's any men in the chat, I'm surprised you guys know how to type. As you probably only like tools and boobs. And then you're just going to start peeing on toilet seats for no reason. Yes. See, that's a classic joke that started in the 1930s. That's a good callback. Men are bad with toilet seats. It's true. I took my whole toilet out. I have a hole in the ground. And I piss and shit all around it. I wish I could figure out a toilet, but it's impossible. That's a girl thing, and I don't do that stuff. It's just I don't think it's good, but I think of maybe I shouldn't have left the Democratic Party so early. What with their full-term abortion stuff they're doing these days, because I'm thinking, hey, another couple months they're probably going to move right into. I'd be able to abort these bitches by the time they're 50. Oh, he wants to kill her kids. I think she's mentioned this earlier in the special as well, that she hates her family. Hating your wife, hating your family. Very funny premises, very funny jokes, because everybody hates their wives and families. But obviously Roseanne doesn't have a wife, so you kind of have to lean into hating the family more. I bet they're going to move right into it, it's coming. That'd be cool. So things aren't what they seem. Like, my brother and sister are both gay. I've mentioned that before. And both of them are married to their gay partners that they've both been with for 34 and 35 years, which is pretty amazing considering. And she gets a big cheer there. Yeah, so Fox Nation, very progressive audience here. Yeah, it's great. They've raised children, and I'm heterosexual, and I've been married 9 or 10 times. So you can't ever be, go with the stereotype for things. But they're progressive parents, though, so not good. And I can't stand that. Progressive parents. I can't stand it. A lot of repetition here. I can't stand it. Can't stand that. It don't make any sense, the way they just let their kids get away with shit. They just like a rubber band, stretch it to the end, My sister, she never quite puts the hammer down on her, okay? She has twin lesbian daughters that's what I call them. No, they're not really lesbians, but they're like 21. She never really put the hammer down. they could get away with anything, not like my kids. I really, I'm there on top of my kids. My kids can't get away with anything like that I know about. But yeah, she's like, I'm going to count to 5. Like that's some big threat, And then a woman in the audience says, yeah. So yeah, that's kind of a funny joke there. Talking about, if you don't discipline women, they will become lesbians. That's a very funny joke. Because obviously there's truth in humor. That's just true. So make sure you look after your daughters. Make sure you discipline them. Don't let them turn into lesbians. Because that's very progressive, and progressive people are very annoying. Let's see what. Here's some. I'm just checking the chat here. Yep. Roseanne has 2. Yeah. I didn't know she was in a car accident. That would I could imagine. Cars are very difficult to drive, so I could imagine that might happen. So she gets a laugh here, a little bit of crowd interaction here. Woman laughs. She doesn't address it, which is too bad. It's whenever someone yells out in the crowd, it's a good time to just derail things and just go right into the audience. But it looks like she moves on here. She's got a thought she wants to finish here. So she says, that progressive 1, 2, 3. I'm like, you've got to hit these bitches if you want it. Okay. You've got to hit your kids. I have to say that. We need to hit them more. Why has it fallen to me to be the person to have to hit everybody's kids in the grocery store? Why has that fallen to me? But there they are at the grocery store. Their mom will pay no attention to them because she's too busy photographing her ass. All right. So this is some good stuff here. So she gets a big audience laugh here. And hitting kids generally, this is a funny thing from the old days. So I think she's just trying to either make it funny now, or this is like a callback to the old times of hitting children. Because she does. She makes a funny point. If you don't hit them, they'll become gay. I don't know if that's true. Again, I'm not a scientist. I trust Roseanne's medical opinions, though. She is very rich, which does imagine if you're really rich, you were probably right about everything your whole life. When you think about it. If you guys know any rich people, they've probably always been right about everything. That's what I've learned in my life, is that everybody wants money, and if you're rich, it's because you were always right. And if you don't have any money, it's because you're always wrong. So I hate to be the bearer of bad news, guys, but I think Roseanne might have the most important medical opinion on raising children here, just because I've heard from parents that seem nice that don't hit their kids, but they don't have a big ranch in Texas, so I'm gonna have to just take Roseanne's advice here. Myles is rich. If you guys could see what was behind me right now, that would be true. I don't know if you guys, we have over 7,000 subscribers now, so I am looking to upgrade my premises to something with at least 2 more pools. I've only got the 1 pool right now, which is great, but it turns green, and I don't know how to fix that. So I think I'll just have another pool installed, and then when that one turns green, I'll just get another one. All right, back to Roseanne here. For her Instagram page, where the kids are running wild. Okay, so she was interrupted by huge laughs. So she's making fun of the mom in the grocery store, taking photos of her ass. for her Instagram page where the kids are running wild. It just really gets me. It's like, why did you have them? Now I'm like kind of on a bender about it. So of course I'm going to hit him. I'm going to have to. Somebody has to. That's very funny. That's a very relatable joke. I don't know if you guys are out in public and you guys ever think to yourself, somebody should hit those kids. But I have that thought sometimes. So very relatable joke. Oh, thank you very much, Lamp, for the backup pool. Oh, wonderful. That's very good. I will put that in the pool fund. Thank you so much, Lamp. Thank you. And thank you for contributing to the chat and hanging out in the Discord as well. It's always lovely to have you in there. One day, if I'll get another backup pool. If I get more than 5 pools, I'll have the whole Discord over to my mansion here in Austin, and we'll see if we can maybe fix the green pools, or I'll just get a new pool installed for the party. But yeah, thank you so much. If you have kids, just make sure you hit them. Okay, what are you gonna do over there? Hey, stop doing that. That ain't right. Didn't your mother tell you that? Keep your hands off stuff and don't stick your nasty fingers through the plastic. Do you understand me? And I'm like, ma'am, did it ever occur to you when you had these little bastards that you were going to bring them to a public place where other people would have to care for them while you took pictures of your ass? It just gets me. It really gets me, as I'm jealous of anyone who has an ass. Oh, nice. So that's a little self-deprecating humor there from Roseanne. So that's nice to have that. That's funny. Well, first of all, because I was born assless in an ass-based economy, and I'm bitter about it, I never thought I would see the day when a woman goes into her husband and says, honey, do these pants make my ass look fat? There's no men left in our country. Have you noticed that? All the men, they want to be women, or else they're just complete pussies and losers. Have you noticed that? There's no men with any kind of spine left. They've all been beaten down. What happened to the men? Are there any men here tonight who would define themselves? Okay, a couple men in the crowd there. So this is a big opinion rant. So sometimes, like I said before, that there were some there's jokes and then there's opinions. In the internet economy, opinions are far more important than jokes. So she understands this. She's a very savvy businesswoman, and she knows that these opinions will probably get shared a lot on the internet. So she does have some great jokes in there, like says she has no ass and we have an ass-based economy, and so she's jealous, which is also funny because she did mention that she has an enormous property without having to use an ass. So maybe this is like a tie-in to her whole. Maybe this is like a joke about her previous joke about saying that it's easier for young people now. But she just contradicted that by saying the young people need an ass now to succeed, whereas she didn't need an ass. I don't know if you guys have ever built an ass before, but it takes a lot of work. A lot of work, a lot of certain exercises and diet. Myles, I have a question. Women, especially white ones, are super annoying. Yet Roseanne is a very funny comedian. This is a question from Ann Polar here. How does that work? So, yes, I mean, white women are very annoying, but it's also, it is just funny on its own. Like, sometimes a comedian will just they'll say a joke and they'll say the word white women, am I right? And a person can take whatever they associate with white women and put that on that phrase and then make themselves laugh based on their experience with white women. So it's really growing into something bigger than just white women being annoying. I mean, we all agree, super annoying. But Roseanne, yes, is a white woman. And maybe she's playing into that annoyingness. Maybe she's doing like an annoying character. Maybe by Roseanne being annoying, you are reminded by all the annoying white women, and that makes you laugh. So really great question there. Great insight. I don't know if you guys know any white women, but have a good laugh when you're around them because they are very annoying and funny. Yeah, now you guys get it. This is great. You guys understand. White women are just funny. I mean, watch this. I'm gonna type a joke in the chat here for you guys. Very fun. Okay. So the audience cheers. And then we get back to, it looks like another sort of opinion rant based joke here. She's really going hard at the last part of this special here. So she's sort of starting to wrap things up. Oh, sure. Really? Okay. Well, let's take this. Oh yeah, there's no men left. So there's no men left. This is another the premise of her new joke here. Oh, sure. Really? Okay. Well, let's take this little test. You think you're a man, huh? You think you're strong, yeah? Mr. Man, well, let's see. I defy any of you men who say you're strong and manly and this and that. Well, I defy you to go home tonight and tell your wife or girlfriend that she needs to sit down and shut her yap. Tell her you need to sit down and shut up and get off every other woman in the world's case. Stop bitching about every other woman and trying to stir up shit for them. Close your mouth and make me a sandwich. Things would be a lot better, am I right? And I bet none of yous will do it either. None of yous will do it because you're scared shitless. I know it. Women are, I don't know, something has happened to women and they're all just completely brainwashed. We'll do anything. Okay, so she's moved on to women now. So if I were to take that, that joke, so the setup is there's no men left. And then she says, I know there's no men left because you would never go home and abuse your wife. So that's kind of it changes what the expectation, you think, oh, to prove you're a man, you do something super manly, like hold off, like stand up with your other guy, like with a bunch of guys with spears and make sure the Persians can't get through a mountain pass, or another manly thing, or like a manly thing like Tim Allen would suggest, like you go and you touch engines with your friends, or you get a bunch of screwdrivers and steak and hang out on but she instead says, no, the manly thing to do to go home and verbally abuse your wife, which is subverts your expectations, right? It subverts your expectations of what you think she would say, because normally you wouldn't think abusing your wife is a manly thing. Generally, they think people think that's the opposite. Because normally, well, I mean, again, I get confused because you're supposed to hate your wife, but you're not supposed to hit your wife. Remember, hate your wife, but not hit your wife. That's the line in the sand for comedy. But it is a sand line, so you can cross sand lines pretty easily, I guess. But again, this is like subversion of expectations joke. I'm kind of getting, this comedy is so complicated. Like I never would have thought that someone would say go home and yell at your wife so directly. Usually comedians from that era, they make jokes about it, but and they kind of dance around it. But she just says go home and just yell at her. And then she moves on to women. So there's no men left because men won't abuse their wives, but there's also no women left because, and she says, because we'll do anything for Dick. Anything for Dick. What happened? We used to like freedom and liberty and this and that and being independent. Now it's just anything for Dick. Putting plastic in your boobs, in your butt, in your calves, in your eyes, in your cheeks. Just go get some guy to get what? An erection around you, for God's sake. Dancing around erect phalluses. That's your whole world, for God's sake. Now you're dickmatized. You're dick-tarded, for Christ's sake. Now that's funny. Oh, that's a great new word there. Dickmatized and dick-tarded. If any of you guys in the chat are feeling dickmatized, let us know. Those are some great funny words there. I'll be using those for sure in the future. Obviously, these are compound words. She's taken hypnotized and the Italian word retard, which means slow, and combined them. What is that about? You're on hormones. Wake up. They've got all the women on the hormones because this is what they told me, Roseanne. Unfortunately, the only thing thin on you is your vaginal walls, and so you need to get on hormones so they'll plump up and you'll be able to enjoy sex with your boyfriend. Vaginal walls is also funny. That's a funny phrase. I don't know if that's real because it just seems so funny to imagine like big stone wall, imposing stone walls in a vagina. But maybe it's real. I don't know. I'd have to ask Roseanne because she's sort of the medical person here. You people don't agree with me. Who's older than me? Who's older than 70? Kathy. Oh, so this is nice that they have a woman in the audience is now part of the special. That's great. Yeah. How old are you? Kathy says 71. Okay, so we got some crowd work. Yes. Crowd work is about to happen. This is exciting. So Kathy says, my name is Kathy. Oh, Kathy, so you're a big sex fiend. You're 71 and you're a big sex fiend. Is that what you're saying? That's so funny. It's always funny to talk about sex with an audience member because here in the U.S., talking about sex is very scary for most people. So it's an awkward situation, and when you talk to someone in the crowd about it, it gets a big laugh because everybody's very tense. So he's digging into Kathy here. Very funny stuff. And Kathy says, not at all. She's not a sex fiend. Oh, you are. You identify with me. That we ought to be over all this? Is that what you're saying? Absolutely. I love you, girl. You got a working brain there. Good. I'm glad. Now, how many of you women are trying to plump up your vaginal wall so you can have sex with a guy you have lived with for 15 years and you're sick of? I'd like to know that. That's funny. So she does turn it on its head. So this is progressive. This is why it's great to have Roseanne doing stand-up because, it's so... Comedy's been dominated by men for so long, talking about how they hate their wives. So it's so refreshing to have a woman telling jokes about how she hates her husband. It's good to balance it out and have more representation because wives and husbands are equally hateable. It's also very, very funny. And she gets a big laugh there. And then a woman says, that's for certain. And then she gets another woo. And then another woman just says, shit. Well, anyway, I'm old. And like I said, and I was thinking about, a lot of people have a bucket list, I don't really want to bungee jump off the Eiffel Tower or any of that shit. I got a fuck it list. Oh, now that's good. And it even rhymes. Like, this is what I'm talking about. This is why Roseanne is just one of the absolute best comedians working today. It rhymes with bucket list and fuck it list. I mean, this is the start. You could sell merch on this. She's really a genius, guys. Thank you, Brian. Yeah, I'm glad Brian could notice that. Also, Brian, make sure you just get in the right lane and put the cruise control on, and just keep your eyes on the road every once in a while. I am concerned a little bit. Yeah, stuff I want to stop doing before I kick it. The breathing habit. It's way easier, to stop doing. Like, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stop pretending to be interested when old people pull out pictures of their grandkids, Like, put that shit away. That kid looks like an albino monkey in braces. Put that shit away. I'm never going to go to nobody's wedding if they've been married more than 3 times. That's a funny phrase there. Albino monkey in braces. Monkeys are funny. Albinos, funny. Braces, that's 3 funny things in 4 words. So if I was at this special, I would have laughed here, here, and here. That's 3 laughs. That's 3 total laughs in 1 second. I mean, good God, guys. Just the best. It's like, let me know if you're still together after 7 or so years, and I'll send you a toaster or something, whore. I'm not going to listen when old people start griping about their medical issues. That really God, that makes me mad. Well, Roseanne, I've got the sciatica and the fibromyalgia going this way and that, meeting up here at the waist, going down my leg here, and it's really painful, and I can barely... Oh, I had to go to the doctor the other day because I could barely bend over and move there, is all. Hey, why don't you do me a favor and just die already, okay? Because I'm their friend. I'll put in an appearance at your funeral, but I just don't want to have time for this shit now. Another thing, I'm not going to be nice to those Jehovah's Witness people. Jehovah's Witness. She really is saving the best for last here, folks. Like, I've been doing, before I was a joke explainer, I did stand-up comedy for 55 years, and I've used to make fun of Jehovah. Talking about Jehovah's Witnesses, they're up there with white women and wives as people you talk about on stage, and just get an instant laugh. And I've never even thought of saying Jehovah's Witness, but it's right there. It's been there the whole time, and I just never even saw it. That's crazy. This is why she's the best. Jehovah's Witness people that come over here knocking on my door, asking me where I plan on spending eternity. I'm going to say it. Come on in. Come on. You got to take your pants off because it's Satan's birthday. And last but not least, I'm never going on another date with Bill Cosby. You can believe me. Never. My back hurt after that. Look at this. This is highlighted. This is highlighted in the script, Bill Cosby, because they know he is a funny comedian. And if you even mention his name, people will laugh. Because if you mention Bill Cosby, people are always going to think about how funny he was, and then they'll have a big laugh. So, always smart to mention funny people like that. My back hurt after all that. Well, another thing in the quarantine is that I was getting in touch with my psychic abilities while I was there, all by myself there. And so I know there's probably some yous here that wants me to do a psychic reading for you while we're all together here. And then one of the audience members agrees with this. If you've got a question about your future, and it needs to be a real question, thought out, I'll give you a minute. A real question regarding your future. You might be very, very surprised at how accurate I am and how very, very psychic I am. Oh man, this is a great setup. Okay, is there anyone who wants me to answer their psychic? Oh, and then a man says me. Oh boy, this is exciting. This is going to be very funny. I got to take a sip here. Yes, over here, sir. Uh-huh. Oh, no. You're still gonna have to fuck her. I'm sorry to say it. Sorry. Sorry to say that. Why? I said it already 5 times, didn't I? I failed. Sorry, sir. You're still gonna have to have sex with her, so you won't be getting lucky. Yes, ma'am. Will you get married? Do you have somebody you're engaged to? And do you know anybody you want to marry? You haven't married yet? Okay, so this is a script reading can be a bit yeah, a bit confusing at times when they're doing crowd work. But it seems like the joke here is that she tells this man in the audience that he's still gonna have to fuck his wife, even though he hates his wife. Again, call back to that joke from the old days. And now she's talking to a woman in the audience. Okay. Her name is Carolyn, and she's been married once. You've been married once, but you don't know it. You don't know nobody. And what's your time limit? Because you look like you're getting long in the tooth. You have a time limit? You don't need to have any children or nothing. You just want companionship? Let's see, what's your name? He says, Carolyn. Carolyn, where do you live? He says, Michigan. Michigan? Oh man, Michigan's a very funny place. Michigan, oh yeah, they like to marry there in Michigan. I think you'll be getting married within the next 6 months. I see it. It's going to be a wonderful woman. You're really going to fall madly in love. It's going to be a fantastic thing. Good luck. Let me know how that works out. You, sir, in the blue, you've been losing weight and you wonder if you'll get back to wearing your size 42 suit again. Yes, you will, sir. They'll bury you in it. Oh, man. That's a wonderful classic. Yes. Oh, Ryan, we did talk about Michigan last time. Michigan, very funny place. A lot of funny names of places. And it's yeah, it's always, it's always got a great what are some funny place names in Michigan? I've seen them on the map. Every once in a while I look at the map and I laugh at the names of places. Ypsilanti. Oh, that's a funny place. Let me see. Dearborn is weird. Everybody knows that deer come from eggs. Let's see here. So she says this is a classic. This is a perfect classic setup. So she doesn't even matter. This guy doesn't have to respond. This is a built-in crowd work joke, right? Could be anyone. Point at any fat guy in the crowd. You say, you wonder if you'll be getting back to your 42 suit again. That gets a laugh. And then you say, yes, you'll be buried in it. That's a boom, boom, fast, instant joke. Made fun of a fat guy, said he's going to die. That's always funny. And it's so fast. And that was definitely pre-written. There's no way she came up with that on the spot. She is a genius, but that is got to be pre-scripted. If Roseanne came up with that on the spot, I'm gonna lose my mind, Audience, and a big audience laugh, obviously. You're welcome, but yeah, a tour in my future? I do. They were talking to me about it, and I said, yeah, I think so. I feel pretty good. I might do a tour, right? And they, so she's selling her tour. That's good. To plug your tour during a show. Jokes Explain won't be going on tour for the foreseeable future, but if the demand is there, we'll come to Ypsilanti and we'll do a little explaining. She's doing great here. She's getting lots of laughs, big blocks of text here. She does a lot of talking, and she continues here. This is a psychic reading. That's a good way to set up crowd work, is saying I'm going to do a psychic reading. Very smart way to set up the bit. And she continues here. Because I think that I'm spreading the love, I think that I'm helpful with getting people to spread the love. So that's, I mean, that's fun. So this must be the payoff to the setup of, wanting to beat every child she sees, that she likes to spread the love. So that's a contradiction of herself. I'm sure she's aware of this. She's aware that that's very funny. I assume she's aware of a lot of these things she does, even though at the beginning of the special, it starts with her begging her brain to work. You know what I mean? Like right now, I have a very good suggestion for all my fans and all y'all here. I love you so much. Now, a lot of us are on antidepressants, and we're very depressed, and this and that over the quarantine and the fact of what they've done to us. Yeah, the government. What we've just lived through. But I found a way, drug-free, alcohol-free, to be able to lift my own spirits, and I want to pass it on to you. And it really, really works, too. Now, what I do, I write suicide notes to everyone in my family, blaming them for my death, and it really helps. I mean, it really lifts up my spirits. So this is a bait and switch here. So that's funny. So that's the opposite of spreading the love, right? So that's an opposite joke. That's very funny. It's so wonderful. Dear Mom, remember those party dresses you sewed for me and forced me to wear in 3rd grade because you said they were slenderizing? The ones with the hoop skirts that I couldn't lift up fast enough or push out of the way on the potty, causing me to pee on the back of them and then to be laughed at by all the other students the entire day. Well, now it seems that I've killed myself, and I just want to let you know that you're to blame. Oh, man. So that's dark there. That's a dark joke about being upset about her mom providing her clothes that didn't work very well and made her get bullied in school. That's a very relatable thing, getting bullied in school. I was bullied a lot because my name is Myles, and people would always say, "Oh, is this does anyone ever call you Kilometers Anderson?" And I would be like, you guys stop. And then they'd hit me. And then the audience laughs here. Had you been a better mother or seamstress, I might be taking those Western swing dancing classes with you and your new boyfriend, Arnie, right now. But instead, I'm stepping cold and hanging in the closet like that goddamn dress. Thanks, Mom. Yeah, get him, Roseanne. And then, yeah, another applause here. So people are on her side. It looks like the sun has gone down behind the building there. So I'm just going to turn the brightness up on this. Try and get that green screen less fuzzy for you. No, it didn't work, but we're going to hold on for dear life here. All right. She says, it's just amazing how it's lifting. Dear daughter, when you called me a racist simply because I told you that your boyfriend was an unemployed crack-smoking Mexican fellow, that is no way meant that I don't love the Mexican people themselves, as I do. As I pointed out to you, you could have picked a Mexican gentleman who didn't smoke crack, had a job, and no facial tattoos, and I would have celebrated with you. But now I'm rolled up in the dirt like a burrito, and it's your fault. I'm dead. Hasta la vista, baby. Oh, man. That's just joke after joke. Oh. So it's important to say, it's like, again, she's towing a fine line with dark humor. If you say unemployed crack smoking Mexican, that might be construed as racist. But if you say Mexican fellow, it's a little less harsh. But then so she calls back to Mexican by saying burrito. That's funny right there, because everyone knows Mexicans love burritos. And she says, hasta la vista, baby, which is a joke about, it's a callback to Mexicans and the Terminator movie. I mean, if you're talking about name comedy here and making references, that's so many references in one. Like the crowd must have just exploded. I wish I was in that theater in Houston for this, but I gotta look after my pools. And something that really, really pisses me off here, dear McDonald's, your refusal to offer the McRib sandwich year round, because you never know when it's going to come back, do ya? You think they could afford some kind of advertising plan where they'd say the McRib that comes on 4th of July. July is a time for the McRib, or they could go Christmas is for the McRib, or just anything, but no. They never tell us when it's going to come back, do they? So we can't plan our lives or anything. Dear McDonald's, refusal to offer the McRib sandwich of the year round has left me with no other choice than to wash down a fistful of Vicodin with a jumbo bottle of vodka from Costco, because you, sirs, have barbecue sauce as well as my blood on your hands, and I'm loving it. Oh, man. Oh, wow. So many McDonald's references in the rant about McDonald's. And the McRib is a very funny thing to mention in a stand-up set as well. It's a great cultural moment for the United States. The McRib came out about 35 years ago and was discontinued about 33 years ago. But for the people who were alive back then, they pine for the McRib, and they always laugh when you mention it because it's a funny name. McRib is funny. But it's also, it's McRib is funny, but it's also McDonald's is funny because that's also a funny restaurant. It has slides. And then she says, "I'm loving it" at the end, and "I'm loving it" was the McDonald's catchphrase. I'm not sure if it's still the McDonald's catchphrase. But that's so smart. That's great. That's great writing right there. So you can see just where I've circled here, it's a lot of references to the premise. I can't think of an example of, how you could possibly, I couldn't come up with a joke where I'd have a reference and then have a thing at the end, but I'll think of one maybe later on, and I'll bring it up on the next stream. But a Roseanne style joke is like you mention some things like a Mexican, and then you work in Mexican stereotypes and phrases into the punchline, and then same with the McDonald's, and then you end it with "I'm loving it." Just funny stuff. She has a lot of mix skill. And the audience laughs, and big applause break. Wonderful thing to get an applause break in a stand-up special. I don't know if you guys saw the Ellen stand-up special, but she got a full 1-minute standing ovation during her special, which was super great to see. She is a very nice lady. Okay, she says, and finally, okay, wow. I don't know if this is the end of the bit or the end of the special here. Finally, dear ABC. Oh, the network that canceled her and her sitcom Roseanne. Oh, but I was watching the ID channel. This commercial came on, and it goes, sometimes suicide is misplaced homicide. And then I was like, hey, that gives me a whole new idea. What the hell here? Dear ABC, when you asked me once again to come back and bail out your shit, low-rated network, I did so with the same sass and vigor that I've always delivered, and I gave you the highest ratings you've seen in 10 years. Unfortunately, network executives are not what they used to be. Yeah, I mentioned before, this is a callback to the executives that sexually assault people in the hotel rooms. It was your bright idea to kill off my character and throw me under the bus that you could find, under every bus that you could find. Well, guess what? I'm not the one that's dead, bitches. Oh, big cheer. The audience wants her to kill the people at ABC. Ladies and gentlemen, my final message of the evening. Don't wait till it's too late to tell people you love. how you really feel about them. I think that's the message I really want to give to you all. Tonight, go home and tell those you love to fuck off right now. Yes, Caustic Roseanne, huge cheer. Thank you for coming. What? Massive joke there at the end. Oh, that is so great. Oh, wow. Audience cheers. And then she says, I love you. Thank you so much. Which, kind of is she's not, I thought she'd tell them to fuck off, but she says she loves them. Audience cheers again. Thanks for all the support you've given me all these years. Audience is cheering. I think that they're probably handing out McRibs in the crowd at this point. Thank you. I appreciate it. I love you all. Audience cheers. Singing. Now they're singing. I didn't know about this. I'm a watch it. Wow. That's great. So that was the conclusion of the Roseanne special, which is called I have to double check here. I think it's called, was it Cancel This or something? But yeah, no, that was something, guys. That was a great special. I don't know if you've seen it. It's on Fox Nation. I assume you guys all have Fox Nation. You can stream it there, and you can really take what you learned here. If you guys watched it and you didn't find it funny, I hope that you'll find it funny now that you understand a lot of the humor and the jokes that Roseanne is talking about. Life, liberty, and the McRib. Red circles to finish it off. Uh-oh. What is it? Is there something wrong? Anyway, all the red circles. Yeah, I was. Yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. I don't know how long I've been streaming. About an hour. That's not too bad. I'm surprised. That was about 10 pages of Roseanne. Took an hour to get through. That's how joke dense this lady is. Just amazing to watch. I don't know if you've seen her earlier stuff, but her career is very fascinating. She did really well on Johnny Carson, and they gave her a sitcom, and then she made a couple $100 million. So pretty cool. She was able to sustain her family of entirely liberal lesbians, and she's very upset about that. If you guys have friends and family that you love, go tell them to fuck off. Tell them to go fuck themselves. And then if they get upset, say Roseanne did it. If you see a kid in the grocery store, just fucking smack them as hard as you can. They need it, or else, they'll be, they'll turn into gay people. And that's annoying because they might be progressive and, vaccinated, and that's all very annoying. They might even turn into a husband or a wife, which is so annoying. If there's any white women in the chat, go fuck yourselves. But I'm just kidding. But thanks for being around and being so funny all the time, even though you guys are annoying. I always find white women funny. Thank you all, you guys, for watching the stream. This is very fun to have a group of people helping me explain these jokes and really getting into the minutia. We're gonna do this again. Gradually over time, my lighting and streaming setup will improve. Hey, thanks for the donation, man. This is what I'm talking about. You guys donate. I'm going to have more pools, more lights. Robert Duff, thank you so much, man. £2, 2 British pounds. That's a high currency exchange. I very much appreciate it. Wow, I'm going to buy a nice something British with that. I'll have to think of something British to buy with the £2. Maybe some overpriced Brexit eggs. I'm just kidding. I'm trying to do a little bit of a politic joke there. Sometimes we like to keep it political or religious here in the comments. But Karachi says, "What's the exchange to Canadian dollars?" I wouldn't know, because I don't know if you guys know, but I live in the alleyway behind the Comedy Mothership, and I kind of divide my time between the Comedy Store and Comedy Mothership. I put my name in the hat. Hope they pull it, but it's been a while and they haven't done it yet. But one day I will. And To our patrons, thank you so much for supporting us. It means a lot. It means, again, we can improve the lighting and sound setup, and of course, add more pools to my mansion, which is wonderful. Yeah, so our patrons, if you guys sign up with on the Patreon, make sure you submit your address and stuff. You guys will receive a degree in music from the Bachelors of Music. Unfortunately, there's a Canada Post strike, and even though I live in Texas, in Austin, we route all our mail through Canada, and so none of the mail is getting delivered right now. But hey, you know what? Maybe Santa will figure it out. You guys, this is a shorter stream than usual. I guess I was, an hour is not too bad, but we ran out of Roseanne, and I like the patron poll is going to decide the next stand-up special. I think I'm going to have similar to last time. I'd love to do Burn the Boats or Ellen or something, or one of these highly copyrighted specials that I have to read and cannot show on the YouTube channel. But yeah, thanks so much for hanging out. Thanks for the donations, guys. I'll see you in the Discord. I'll see you in the comments section of the videos. We're working on more Jokes Explained, more content coming soon. Hopefully, you guys will have lots to consume over the holidays while you tell your families to go fuck themselves. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.